It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
Thank you for tuning in to the Sean Widmer Podcast. I appreciate it. Let's get into it today. We're going to talk to my buddy Michael. The NBA season ended last night. I'm recording this on Tuesday. On Kelly's What Are You Into? We'll explain why. I've got something I'm kind of excited about in the works. So I'm gonna share a little bit of it during Kelly's What Are You Into? A little prospect. We're gonna get into that in a moment. But the NBA season ended on Monday night, and now that means my plate is empty in the sports world. The Stanley Cup Finals are still going on. Edmonton won tonight, so we're continuing on with the Stanley Cup Finals. They need 2 more. Florida needs 1. So we've got maybe 1 or 2 more games left, right? 2 games maximum in the Stanley Cup Finals, and then it's just baseball. So I want to get into baseball. I like baseball. There's nothing that I like totally hate about it. I used to love baseball. It's just a long season. And when I've got a family, I've got kids, I don't have time to every single night sit down and watch a Mariners game like I did before. But my life is a little different now because the Mariners start here so late. We're getting into that with Michael. I just wanted to get caught up with where we're at right now because I know nothing about the Mariners season right now. Nothing. And so I want to get caught up with Michael, who is a diehard, on where we're at, what we're looking at, where I need to be mentally, who's good, who's terrible. And we'll get caught up with Michael right now. Michael, a former coworker of mine, and somebody who I'm very thankful to be able to say is my friend. I am inviting on, I would say, like my biggest critic, but also someone I appreciate a ton. My buddy Michael. Hello, Michael.
Hello, how we doing? I don't appreciate the biggest critic, but
I would say it's in a good way, right? Like movie critics aren't always like negative. It's not a negative thing, but you will call me out when things are going south.
I send you compliments, I think, more often than not. But then when I do say something, when I do tell you have a bad take, I think you hear that more often.
I need those, but I need those ones. I appreciate what you do. Anyways, Michael, you are somebody who I think you're probably the greatest trajectory, the greatest usage of working in the radio world of anyone that I know, because you dipped your toe in, you got to see the inside, you got to hang out, you got to do the fun stuff, and then you were like, okay, this is nothing. I need to get out of here.
It was. I loved it. I was actually horrible at it because I was all the producer boards were so crazy and they intimidated me. But the promotion stuff with that was you talked bad about it, how boring it was, but I had some good times.
Because you have a good ability of just talking and being happy. It's why everyone likes you, right? It's why you have a huge net of friends. It's why when you go camping, you take up an entire campsite. You have so many pals because you're just good at interacting with anyone.
That's an embellishment, I would say. I like to talk. Some people like it, some people don't, I suppose.
Dude, you would sit at our events, our promotional events, and you and I would be hanging out, and anyone who came up, I was so excited when I worked with you because I knew between the two of us we were going to have enough to talk to with anyone, but not be in a situation where one of us had to talk for 30 minutes to somebody. Like we were going to take turns, and it made it a lot more bearable.
Yeah, definitely. I enjoyed those. I had as much fun with those as I could. Try to put you in some fun situations.
Yeah, you really did. And I really enjoyed that a lot. Okay, Michael, the reason you're on, the NBA Finals ended last night. And that means the NBA season is done. So I am now ready to usher in Major League Baseball. But of course, we're recording this on the 18th of June. Baseball's been going on for a little while. I actually have no clue how many games teams have played. I have no clue what's going on. You are my baseball guy. So I have to get caught up. This is going to be like cramming for a test. I will ask you first and foremost, how are the Seattle Mariners?
The Mariners are good. They're good. I wouldn't say they're great. They're overperforming, to be honest, their record, but they've won 17 out of their last 22 now. They just won about 10 minutes ago. So
okay.
That's exciting.
So, Michael, tonight I have my buddy gets MLB TV, and he always has got it, and so he always shares it with me. And I've never really used it because I lived in Washington. So, MLB TV, the Mariners games are blacked out. Well, now that I'm in Kentucky, the Mariners games are on the MLB TV for me. So tonight, I actually logged in, got it up on my TV, and I got to sit down and watch the last 2 innings of Mariners baseball. So it was my first moment diving into an M's game this year, and I saw a ton of guys. I had no clue who they were, but I got to see a win tonight, and that was and 8 runs. 8 runs for the Mariners tonight. So from just one game sample, I thought, well, we're the best team in the world if we're scoring 8 runs.
Oh, yeah, 8 runs. Yeah, you tuned in at a good time because we probably scored 8 runs, counted on one hand, right around there.
So this is the thing. You say we're really good. I didn't want to look too much at what's going on with the team because I wanted to talk to you about it. You say we're good. The one thing I did see, because on the MLB app, it will show, the lineup, and it shows the stats for the night, and then of course it shows the batting averages. And I looked at our batting averages, and when you said the team was good, I was shocked because I think the best player was hitting 265 or something like that. Rojas, a guy I've never heard of in my life.
Yeah, I look at that too every day, and it's just like doesn't seem to keep getting. It's trickling better, but yeah, the offense is abysmal. They are what bottom 5. They're definitely bottom 3rd, but they're bottom 5 in almost every single category except for clutch hitting, which is like hitting in the 7th, 8th, 9th inning. They're top 5 in all those categories, so that seems to work out.
So if we can stay close, we have a good shot at the end. Is the pitching really good? Is that what's going on?
That's the key there. Yeah, we have the top pitching staff starters in baseball, like bar none. Like it's incredible. All of I would say they're all at least probably like number 2s with like high, like they have the ceiling to be in number 1. I think they're all like high end 2s to maybe low end 2s.
No way. Okay, so that's really
all
good.
5.
Is Castillo dialed right now?
Castillo's dialed, Kirby's dialed. They all kind of came out the gates a little slow. We had like a couple turns through the rotation where we're all giving up. But they're getting shelled kind of. So since then they're all dialed. Everyone's ERA is below mid-3s. Down to our number 5 starter, who's been hurt a lot of years, so he only has about 6 or 7 starts. His ERA is 1.07. Our number 5 starter.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm excited about this. This is great. Okay, so we're good. Bats are not doing great. Pitching is keeping us in games, winning us games. I mean, where are we right now? We're the Seattle Mariners in terms of the standings. Are the Astros still the best team in the AL West? Is it the Rangers? Are the Angels doing anything without Shohei? Who's good?
We are the Astros. As of about 10 minutes ago, we are now 10 games ahead of the Astros and 9 games ahead of the Texas Rangers. So we are in first place by more than anybody else in baseball.
Okay, Michael, this is not a setup on you. I really didn't know this. So this is breaking news to me because I have been, you know how my life goes. I really love the NBA. And so I consume the NBA playoffs, and I love I don't love the NHL, but I love the NHL postseason. So I watch a lot of the NHL postseason. It's every single night in April, May, and June.
It's the best. I love it. I love it as well. I'm all in.
So
the hockey game tonight, it's great right now as well.
Yeah. I think I'm cheering for Florida because of Le Batard's show. But there's something about Edmonton that if they can come back and win the series, I'd be really, really excited about.
No, I'm all Edmonton. Want to bring it home. My wife's dad, but his family's from Canada, so they're all about it. I love it.
Okay, I'm in on that then. All right, Julio Rodriguez. Good. Is he still the face of the franchise?
Unfortunately, yeah, no, he's definitely the face of the franchise. He's fun to watch. He's a great player, but he's starting off. He's a below average player this year.
Oh, that's a bummer to hear, because I really think he's
doesn't
cool.
have power. He hits. He's hitting 265 or so as well as Rojas, but he just doesn't have. He hasn't been hitting for power. He's got, I think, 7 home runs, which he hits like 2 in 3 days, and everyone's like he's back, and then he kind of struggles for a few days. So it's just he hasn't put it together. But he's always been a second half player. So
Okay.
Second half's coming up.
I get to witness it from the other side now that I'm out on Eastern Standard Time. You know, the baseball games, the Mariners are in Cleveland right now. So for me tonight, the game was ending at a normal baseball time for what I was used to when the Mariners were home and I lived on the West Coast. Of course, when they play at home, the games end in the morning. I wake up and I get to see the 9th inning of the game. So I get now, Michael, why we get no love nationally for a lot of things. The Mariners just don't. And you're also up in the Northwest. You're not LA. So what is like the storyline? Because I can't imagine it's the Mariners. What is like the storyline right now as I jump into the Major League Baseball season now that the basketball's done?
It's the typical powerhouses, Yankees, Dodgers. The Phillies have been really good. The Braves are really good as well. The storylines have been Judge. Judge is having a crazy season, but he got hit in the hand tonight, and that your season can turn just like that. Mookie Betts got hit in the hand for the Dodgers. A couple broke his hand last night or the night before, so you never know. But those are the stories.
Dude, I saw that. I did see that pop up on Instagram, the Mookie Betts hand. That 98 miles per hour in your hand, it looks... It sounds terrible on the update when you see the update on your phone, the notification. When you see 98 to someone's hand, it made my hand hurt.
It's scary. I can't even imagine.
Oh, my gosh. That just happened. I mean, obviously, and he's going to be done. So Aaron Judge is the storyline. We got the main players. Mariners are probably not in the mainstream discussion, but that doesn't really matter. It does. I mean, it's kind of a bummer if you're playing well. You would like to hear your team said on the big shows, but really at the end, it matters that you're playing in October. And so right now, the Mariners look good. Give me a. Do we need to talk about spin count? Spin rate? Do we need to talk about? Well, we were working an event one time, and Michael starts talking to somebody about baseball. And I'm hanging with the conversation. And then all of a sudden, Michael and this guy start talking. Was it Brandon?
It was Brandon, yeah.
Okay, so not some guy. It was Brandon. It was our guy. And all of a sudden, I hear spin count come up, and I checked out. I was like, okay, Brandon's a nerd for the Red Sox and a nerd for baseball. Michael's a nerd for the Mariners and a nerd for baseball. And they entered some realm that didn't make any sense to me because in normal sports like basketball and football, the rotation of the ball, you notice it, but nobody is breaking down Steph Curry's rotation on a three-pointer.
No, it was a storyline at the time, and it turned out it was just another. I think it was another way the Astros were cheating at the time.
Of course it was. Of course it was. That's all they do, man. All right, so I'm excited to get in. I'm happy because for my life right now with children, the fact that the Mariners games start super late, and I'm kind of a night owl now that I'm not having to wake up, an ungodly hour in the morning for work. I love staying up late, so I'm kind of excited that these Mariners games I'll be tuned into because they start when everyone's asleep in my house except for me.
Yeah. They and baseball's not. They moved up the game times a little bit. I think they get almost a half an hour.
Yeah.
So they play at like 6:30 instead of 7 hours, 6:40, and now and the games they do go a little quicker, and especially when the Mariners have such good pitching and bad hitting.
Yeah.
Games go fast.
Yeah, the games. I mean, if you're doing those two things, you can't be expecting games to go very long. No one on base, no one gets on base, and no one for either team, and you just cruise on through 9 innings. I'm excited about that. Okay, Michael, transitioning real quickly, Survivor talk. I've been asked by multiple people, including someone today, to recommend a Survivor season to them as people are kind of looking for a show to watch, and they know I love Survivor. I always say the same season to people. I would like to know from you, is there some Survivor names? I don't expect you to know a season, but are there some Survivor names of cast members you would tell people to pay attention to when you're looking at finding a Survivor season?
I would have to do recent, like super recent, like this. I'm just thinking about the season that just ended. I'm not good. I'm not as good at remembering names as you.
Okay. I really liked this last season, just so you know. I always recommend KWAYI. You tell me if you remember this season as I start to tell you about it, and if you liked it or not. It was a season. Clifford Robinson was on the season. Big Cliff Robinson. David Sampson, the Miami Marlins GM or owner or whatever he was on the season. And it was a season with Sarah, the police officer, Tony, the police officer, this kid Spencer, this lady Monica, who is a cheerleader and is just letting it all hang out. Do you remember that season at all, the Tony season?
Yeah. Once you said Sarah, the police officer, because she was on the challenge.
Yes,
big challenge.
All time. She's an all-time great to me. I think she's on multiple Survivor seasons. Did the challenge. She's a beast. Any season she's on, I'm in on.
The guy that won, that was voted off first. I would love to see him back. Remember, they kept everybody, and then he was gone the whole season. He never even played Survivor pretty much, and then came and won by winning the Fire. He just did Fire and got back in.
Yeah, what was that? Okay, I forgot about that. He went to Exile Island pretty much the whole year, or the whole season, and we only saw him in little chunks by himself. Never got it. Oh, what the heck was his name? It was like Jason or something, or Robert. I don't remember. He had a very, I feel like, just basic dude name. Yeah, that was okay.
He went on and won he won a season of the challenge. He dominated. He was so good. So I was like, oh man, I'd love to see him back on Survivor.
Yeah, because I'm starting to piece together who I want to see on Survivor season 50, and that he might be on a short list of people I'd like to see come back.
5 away. That would be 5 away.
Yeah. So I think we're going to be, because 5 away, so maybe 3 years, we are going to age out a lot of people. I don't know that I want to see a lot of people from those first 10, 15 seasons. I kind of am ready to see people from the last 15 years on the show. And I'm okay with that. And a couple old legendary names. But I wouldn't mind seeing some of the new people that we've fallen in love with over the past 10 years.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's a new generation. They play differently.
Yep.
And it's kind of fun. Plus it's the 26 days now. It's just a different game.
Different game. Do you remember Jesse? He was the kid. He was he grew up kind of in a gang. He had the teardrop tattoo under his eye, but he had it removed, and it was like a big talking point for him during the season. And he was so good the whole season. And then at the end, they voted him out right before the fire making challenge, and everyone on the entire cast was crying because everyone knew he would win. So that was the smart thing to vote him out, but it was devastating to everyone because he was the whole time talking about, I've turned my life around, super nice guy. Do you remember him?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I want him back more than anyone else from Survivor. I want him back because I want to see if kindness can get him that far again.
I'm sure it could, but they would. I think if you get them in the All-Stars with a bunch of All-Stars, then they'd want to get someone like that out quickly. They'd rather play with game players than people that could win based on outside.
Yeah, would you be down for Russell Hantz coming back?
I'm always down for Russell, Tony Velachos. They throw a wrench in the system. So I'd be fine with a couple. Just throw a couple of them. I'm done with Rob.
I'm done with Rob too. My favorite all time. I mean, I'm a Tyson guy forever, but I'm done with Tyson. I don't need Tyson on another season. As much as I love him, I would love to have the new players who are all based on kindness and everything, and have Tony and Russell come in and just absolutely twist the brains of everyone on the island.
Yeah, and they could. They definitely could. And then
It's Michael.
It always turns out the same way for them, though.
It's been funny watching. I told you this would be 10 minutes. It's just under 10 minutes right now. The other thing we've noticed watching old seasons, Ann and I have been watching old seasons, we've done away with the physical challenges. I forgot how physical challenges used to be.
Yeah, you used to actually know how to swim. It wasn't just in like the very shallow end.
Yeah.
You remember the one? It was pretty recent, actually, maybe like 5 seasons ago when the tide like went away. They did it for so long.
Yes,
the one where
they went
like in the cage.
Yes, that was great. That one I feel so claustrophobic watching that challenge. But the other thing is they have ones where it's like, okay, one person hold on to this pole and the other team's going to try to rip you off the pole and you have to hang on for dear life. Or they're in a ring and it's like pretty much tackle football. And I don't know the last time they've done one of those.
Yeah, I think they've definitely gotten away from that. So I kind of enjoy that. So because more gender mixed challenges that gives them a chance. It always comes down to the puzzle.
Yeah.
The first half never really matters too much.
Yeah, you're right about that. Okay, did you like Hunter this year?
Hunter was the best player, probably not the best social game, but he was the best survivor player.
Yeah, I would like to see him back for 50 with him now knowing the social part of it to see if he could work through it because we know he's going to win challenges. And so now, did you learn enough from your season, this last season? Did you learn enough to come back and do that part well? Because if he had that, he would have won.
I thought Kevin was very good from this past season.
Yeah?
I'd like to see him back. He's really personable, so if he could kind of tone that down the way he was very forceful about it. If he can tone that down, I think he'd be really good.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our baseball talk right there. Baseball, and we snuck a little Survivor in on you. Michael, is there anything I can do better to make the podcast better for your ears?
I thought you originally were calling me for to get me on my segment for the Peaceful Valley 30 for 30.
You came down one time, and you came down and decided that violence was the only choice for you, and everyone hated you. I mean, Michael, you came down and with elbows. Your elbows never left below your shoulders. They were up by faces the entirety of your time down there.
Yeah, well, you didn't tell me I was going to be. So I was a little athletically overmatched. So I was out of shape. And so my way of being out of shape is just holding, and that doesn't fly.
I mean, you were like Pat Beverly. You truly were the Pat Beverly of Peaceful Valley that day. It was phenomenal. The fact you left there, I think you were scrappy enough that people were afraid to confront you. They just wanted the day to be over.
Yeah, so I was like, oh man, I gotta get out of here.
But I loved having you down. We needed it one time, right? I think we needed we needed you to mix it up, and I always like to have my friends come down and check it out. Like that's always cool to me. So I loved it because I got to have you come down and see it and experience it, which is important to me. And everyone else can just screw off. They can get over it. You weren't down there again, and then they can just deal with it.
Yeah.
What kind of shape are you? What kind of shape are you in now? You're a married.
Golf shape.
You're what is it?
Golf shape.
Golf shape. You are good, dude. You're a good golfer. Like, what's the handicap right now?
No, I'm not a good golfer. I'm out there to try to break. My goal is to break 90 every time, so I do sometimes, and then so I can be in the mid 80s and sometimes not so hot. I get up to the high 90s.
I hate you. I hate idiots who come out and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm not a good golfer. I get to the mid 80s." That's the dumbest thing. You think I have dumb takes? That's dumber than my dumbest take. You saying you're an okay golfer and then saying you hit the mid 80s is so stupid.
I said I can, but I finished it up with I'm also in the high 90s.
I'm so sorry you have to break 100 every time. I mean, jeez Louise, this is the most sandbagger call. You and Brandon actually need to go out and golf together. You can talk about spin rate the entire time, and you guys both golf about the same. Your handicap's about the same, so it'd be competitive.
Perfect. No, I think Brandon would probably kick my butt. I'm really not that good.
That's such a sandbagger line. It's so stupid. All right, man. It's really, really good to hear your voice. Thank you for getting me caught up on baseball. I am actually excited to get to dial in and watch the Mariners this summer. I actually really am. And so thank you for being there for it. And I will probably be texting you during the season just to try to keep my excitement level high, because you can be someone I can at least text about the Mariners.
Perfect. I'm always willing to text about the Mariners. I'll be looking forward to that.
Dude, I forgot. Okay, last thing. I forgot to mention this. Are you so excited? The college football video game's coming out. Notre Dame can finally win a championship.
Stop.
All right. Bye, buddy. See you, man. Goodbye. Notre Dame sucks. Goodbye. There he is. I love him. Michael is rad. He was so fun to work with. Oh, my gosh. That was one of those. We'd go out and work radio events. And so you set up a tent, and the point of the event is to talk to people who are coming up. They want to say hi. Maybe they want to meet the people working for the radio station. They want to come by and get some swag. Maybe we're giving away tickets. They want to try to win those. Customers who are at a store, if the store is kind of busy, maybe we're a distraction so that they can come talk to us while people work with clients. And then when it's a little less busy, they can go talk to the people working, and we're kind of that buffer there. Anyways, people would come on up to this tent, and they'd want to chat. And I remember working with Michael and thinking, I'm not going to talk to anyone else. I don't want to. Like, this is going to be 3 hours of me talking to Michael, because he's genuinely a blast to talk about sports, reality TV shows with. He was always fun with life because he has a lot of friends and he does a lot of things. And so he always had good experience stories from, what'd you do last week? And there was always something crazy Michael had done, something really fun. And he's great. He's great people. His one downfall, he's a Notre Dame fan. And God bless him for this. I'm thankful that I grew out of it a bit. That man lives and breathes it. And when Notre Dame loses, calling him is a cardinal sin. He is not in a good place. He's not mentally ready to do it, and he is downright mean and mad. And I feel so bad for his wife, because they're they're not newlyweds, but they're newer married couple. Now they've been together for a while, but I've got to imagine living with him during college football season has to be the worst Saturdays of your life. Okay, let's wrap this podcast up with a little Kelly's What Are We Into, shall we?
Kelly's What Are You Into?
Man, I feel so bad. I told him it was going to be 10 minutes. That was like 25 minutes. Michael, I actually am sorry. That was too long. I didn't think we were going to talk Survivor. And then I've been asked by Barrett asked me today. I've had a couple people in the last 2 weeks ask me about Survivor, because I talk about it a lot when I'm around people, and I would just like people to get into it. I think it's a fantastic show. I think a lot of people who have forgot about it would love it if they are reminded about it, so I'm the reminder. And so people ask, well, where should I what episodes, what seasons should I watch? With streaming anymore, if you have Paramount Plus, you can have access to every season. And so I like to try to be a little bit knowledgeable about that. So when people approach me, I can give them 3 or 4 different seasons to watch and kind of get them hooked again. Maybe give them one, about half, like in this 20s, a season in the 20s. And, we're up to season 46 this last season. Give them a season in the 20s, and then maybe in the 30s, two of them in the 30s, and kind of ease them into the new generation of Survivor. And then this last season is one I would recommend to everybody. I thought it was a great season of Survivor. They've kind of caught their stride with how new Survivor's being played. Why am I still talking Survivor? Kelly's What Are You Into? I'm going to Nashville tomorrow, and I'm real excited about this, and I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't know what I can say yet. But I got reached out to by someone in the country music world, and a country music artist wants me to help out with a podcast with them. I'm real excited about it. So there's going to be more details on that coming up in the next week. because tomorrow I'm driving down to Nashville. We're going to talk about it, get everything squared away, get equipment set up, and I don't know when we're going to start officially posting episodes and recording episodes for this, but tomorrow we're going to really sit down. We're going to get all the equipment on his end set up in his tour bus so that he can broadcast from there and then talk about when he's home, how he can set up at home. And just we're going to get equipment talk set up for this. I'm real excited about it. So that's what I'm into. A cool opportunity in the podcast world with someone in the country music world. It'll be I think very enjoyable. Someone who has made me laugh a lot. In the phone calls we've had, I have laughed quite a bit from this guy, and it'll be interesting. Okay, that's Kelly's What Are You Into? I wasn't lying on Monday when I said I had the worst take ever. I got one text from somebody who said, "You were right." That's all the text said. Okay, you were right. And so everyone hated that I'm anti Mother's and Father's Day. And because of that, we got no comments, and we probably are going to have, half as many listeners moving forward, but it's my journal, and I'm going to say the things that I want to remember, and that's something that I want to remember, that at one point in time, I was anti-Father's Day and anti-Mother's Day. One comment. You can comment over at seanslife.com, on Spotify, the question and answer section, and on YouTube. You can comment right there. Yvonne said this. Yvonne has her listed as Zoe's aunt. Inside Out 2 is great. Went with Calvin and Hobbs. Anxiety is great but wild. That's one of the characters. She's not. I mean, it is wild, but the character. Anxiety is great but wild. The new moods are good. When you get to see the whole thing, it will be amazing. Excited for Wood's room. You can put a dragon playing basketball decal on the wall. I agree with the Mother and Father's. What? I agree about the Mother and Father's Day. I cleaned the garage on Mother's Day, my kind of relaxation. It needed to be organized. The Father's Day was brought about by a girl from Spokane because her dad was a single father. She felt if there was a Mother's Day, there should be a Father's Day. Same with Grandparents' Day. We should be celebrated always. LOL. Love you guys. Thank you, Yvonne. Yeah, it was, it's my take. It's a bad one. You guys all dodged it today. I'm holding it up on YouTube. Michael, I should ask Michael about it. I know he's a big Dungeons and Dragons guy. I know he's just dying to talk about D&D. But this podcast has been too long. But they announced a lot of the stuff. New rules coming out this fall. Is everyone excited with me? D&D's new player handbook, new Dungeon Master's Guide, new Monster Manual. They announced a lot of the stuff that's going to be in there. We've got more live streams tomorrow and Thursday and Friday, live streams all week breaking down the new content. Oh, I cannot wait for the new rules. That's not a joke for me, but I also understand how much I'm now even sacrificing more audience to my stupidity. I love D&D. It is, as I get older and I start to play basketball less because of opportunity between getting older and having kids, my love for D&D is catching basketball at way too rapid of a pace. Because I can do it. I can read stuff and watch stuff right here at my house. It's not good. It's not good. In fact, today I thought about how could I make a shelf, like a little makeshift shelf in the basement that I can put all my books on. That's what I thought about today. When was the last time I thought about that? All right, I got to go lick a basketball just to get the love for it back. Have a good night or day or whenever you listen to this.